we're on. Hi, we're here. We made it. Sorry. This has been
Hi,
a
everybody.
journey. God.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to
God.
Illuminated Page. I'm Matt, and I'm running this thing tonight. Oh, no, I lost everybody. What happened?
I don't know.
I'm here.
We're here.
Oh, we're here.
Hold on. No, the problem is there. I didn't mute my computer, so I was hearing myself again.
That was
it's
not
cool.
my tech issue this time.
No, that
the
was my
rest
tech
were
issue.
mine. The last 20 minutes was mine.
Welcome back to Illuminated Page. I'm Matt. I'm going to be running the game. I'm here with Shawn, who's playing Aaron Lockhart.
Lockhart.
John, who's playing Jimmy Ray Sheridan.
You can
Hi.
speak now.
I just look menacingly into the camera. What are you talking about? That's all I do.
This is a podcast. I don't have to speak.
Roxanne, who's playing Claudius.
My name is Claudius Rumtree. I appreciate
And David, who's playing Professor Dalphus Hardgrove.
Heyo.
There may be a little hiss on my end. You guys are coming in so light. I'm kicking you up on my end a little bit. So
yeah, that definitely brought up the hiss. I don't know what to do about that.
It's my board. It's great.
Matt.
It's fine.
Sorry.
Actually,
I fixed it earlier.
It went down
I'll fix it again.
Can you just turn up your Zoom volume in your volume mixer on your PC or whatever device
you mean
using?
on my iPad?
Yeah, crank it up.
Or whatever technical device you're using.
Holy cow, that makes way more sense.
Is that what it was? You had it all the way down?
Don't you judge me.
Guys, see, folks, this is what happens is I make all these technical mistakes, or I have to deal with all this stuff, and it makes me look super unintelligent, but I know how to turn the volume up.
But then I do something, and you're like, better than that.
At least I'm not like that.
So this is episode 3 of season 2.
Yes.
We're in Australia. Just came in England, where I've got notes. Where'd my notes go? There they are.
We killed a guy last week. That's what we did.
Where we just saw the former Chapel of Illuminous Erudition.
Erudition.
I didn't spell my own notes right. I wrote these notes.
We're there with the bright erudition.
Which Jimmy Ray Sheridan thinks sounds a whole lot like something his father once had when he ran a cult back home. So that's where we ended up last, or 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
So join us tonight as we go deeper into Australia and see how that goes. And we can hop right into that intro video.
Okay, sounds great. Let me. Okay, we're back, y'all.
Hey, everybody.
You were actually
Welcome back.
You were poking Aaron that time.
Oh.
We're over here.
Oh, yeah, I was poking Aaron, yeah.
I didn't
We're trying
mind
to figure out the Brady Bunch stuff, guys. We suck.
Matt's audio.
My audio? What's wrong with my audio?
Oh, never mind.
Ignore John.
It doesn't matter what I hear. It only matters what you hear.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, there you go. So, hey, welcome back to the Illuminated Page. You guys have just got off the boat in Port Hedland. Port Hedland is a tiny, tiny little town. We're talking maybe 1,000 people, not even 1,000 people, more like 1,000 shipping crates and like 6 guys that move them occasionally. As a reminder, you guys were headed in from Port Hedland to go deeper into the outback to a small town. I've got to pull that. I don't know why I wasn't prepped. It's not like I didn't have time.
Yeah, I only gave you 20 extra minutes. Just saying.
You'll be heading probably inland to Concudgerie, to find out more
That's
about
right.
Mr. Guy whose name
I have notes. too.
Mackenzie.
there it is, Mr. McKinsey, and what he found out in the desert some years ago.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, there we are. That's what we've got. So
So real quick, Mackenzie, is he in Port Headland or is he in
he
Concudgerie?
was in Port Hedland.
Oh.
He's known to have passed away some years ago.
What do I
Okay.
know?
There would have been an expedition out, and he was pushing for it.
Right.
But once he passed away, that kind of fell apart and didn't really get anywhere. So yeah, that's that. No one actually has been out there to check it. It's been about a decade, I believe.
Fantastic.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It has been 5 years.
5 years. There's my notes. Sorry, I've been I have 15 notebooks in front of me. Which one?
Yeah, I can't find my notebook.
Apparently, in my cool Type 40 Cthulhu notebook, this is the page that I'm on now in it, the Cthulhu cult book.
Oh, good.
David,
well,
no.
that is appropriate.
David, no! Why did you do that? He ruined everything.
Did
Oh
he?
no.
He ruined everything.
Oh no. Oh no, I am Aaron Lockhart now. I am
David, never turn off your camera and zoom. It messes up everything.
Oh no!
Okay, so
Yeah.
I guess I'm a little confused with my notes because the
Oh,
person,
God.
the professor that we're with, knows somebody that we can talk to get more information.
Yeah, he
Yes.
knows Dodge.
This was my
McFleur.
plan. I am in
Big
charge
Fleur,
now.
thank you.
I'm sorry.
See, what does
It's
it say
McFleur.
under my name? It says keeper there now, right?
Yeah, you're not in charge.
Never do that
I
tried.
again.
I tried.
So it's actually the McWhirr diary. I'm sorry, McWhirr passed away some years ago, and
Mackenzie was his
McKinsey is
coworker.
the one
The
who had.
one-
Right,
Right, he's
Yeah.
the one that's in Port Headland that we're going to go talk to.
that's correct.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I'm up to speed. I'm like, wow, I really messed my notes up then.
No. You probably had good notes. I just really good at this.
You're a professional GM, Matt.
Yeah, I'm totally on top of this. I definitely didn't spend the last 2 days reading a different system altogether and a setting for it for the fun of it. I'm doing great. So you guys are in the port. Does anyone want to do anything before we get headed? Kind of probably because Dr. Dodge is Professor Dodge is with you. He's one of the archaeology professors from Sydney. He came out kind of as a guide to introduce you to Mackenzie. He's going to usher you towards Mackenzie unless you have something else you want to do before you go that way.
Is this temple, the Chapel of Bright Erudition or whatever, is that here?
Yeah, it was a building up on
yes,
the hill. Yeah, we saw it.
Yeah, there's a small chapel like style building, much like you would expect to see in every Revolutionary War time period movie that you've ever seen ever. One of those styled chapels with the bell tower and then just one singular room behind that, kind of just sitting there, and it's there, has the bell tower. It clearly has not been upkept. So the salt air has kind of stripped some of the paint. It's not in the best of condition. The fence kind of around it has kind of fallen apart. It is painted very brightly white, or it was probably 5-ish years ago. And then the sign is still there, but it's clearly been worn by time and weather.
I'll probably stop dead in my tracks looking at it and be like, I think we might have found something.
On
That,
what, Jimmy?
that church over there. How do you mean?
That's a really similar name.
I'm sorry, to what?
My father's group.
Oh.
Oh, it was the cult
Oh,
your
the
father was
cult.
involved in?
Yeah.
The Church of the Starry Wisdom. Is that right?
Well, I mean, what would they be doing here? Did you know that they? I mean,
I'm looking. I knew that they were out of. My father, at least, I knew had left and gone to Cairo. And I pursued him there, and then he left. I'm wondering if this is where he ended up.
Wouldn't surprise me. The cult that we've been running from, chasing to, trying to stop, they seem to be pretty widespread as well. So it stands to reason that your father's cult would be maybe a little far flung as well.
Let's head on. That building isn't going anywhere. Let's at least get to a hotel or wherever we're staying for the moment.
Yeah. So Professor Dodge speaks up. He says, the house of Mr. McKenzie is right this way. I would be happy to take you over that way. And we can probably send our bags on to the hotel here in town and get those set up there.
Sounds good.
So he is going to hand your bags off to a porter and have that person go take them to the hotel and check you in under your normal names. Are we sure that the paranoid PI is going to let that happen?
No, we're not.
I didn't think so.
I'm fine with the bags because I've got everything I consider important on me.
Sure.
But yeah, we're not. Yeah, we're going to be under assumed names. Maybe one of the names that we used previously.
If Claudius
Okay.
notices that Lockhart seems concerned about what Dodge said, yeah, why don't you go ahead and take care of that, Aaron?
All right, I can do that.
Yeah. So do you give the porter one of your assumed names and send them on to the hotel?
Yeah, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to look over the porter very closely to see if I can see any cultish signs, like a leather necklace or anything that would arouse my suspicion.
Give me a spot hidden, but you can do it with a bonus die.
That is a 33, so that is a hard success.
33 hard success. So yeah, you don't. It looks like just a regular old white dude ready to take your bags. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay. So yes, we will be checking into the hotel under the Travis account. Travis Parker.
Okay, I will get you all set up with 4 individual rooms, 2 individual rooms.
Let's see. There's what, 6 of us?
There are
No,
5 of you.
5 of you. 3 rooms.
Fantastic. I will get that set up. And he kind of he sets the bags off to the side, obviously waiting for a vehicle or a cart of some sort to take him over there. But yeah, this is pretty typical. So you guys are in the village. There we go. So what you do see kind of running out of the village is a small railroad which winds back into the countryside. One of you did a bunch of research, didn't you?
Not me.
I believe Dalphus did.
No, I think it was Jimmy Ray Sheridan about Australia when you guys were in Sydney.
Ooh.
Anyway,
I don't think
that's
that would
okay.
have been me, honestly.
So about 150 miles southeast of here is Concudgerie, which is known to be an area of rich deposits of gold.
Do you remember something?
Yeah, no, I looked into environments and survivability because that's more my character's area.
Sure. Okay, that makes more sense. You head to the home of Mr. McKenzie. It's just it's a small, not grandiose house. It's mostly a couple of rooms, bathroom, a kitchen, and a bedroom, and then a small sitting area. He invites you in, offers you all tea. He's probably in his mid-40s. Nice long beard, kind of reminds you of what you would expect out of like a prospector from the American West. But he kind of motions for you to sit down. I'd like to get a psychology roll from all of you.
Does the house, I mean, it's well kept, or is it shabby? I mean,
It's a bachelor pad.
okay.
It's not necessarily disgusting and dirty, but like there are things that he lets sit. He probably has 4 or 5 weeks worth of newspapers, and by weeks I mean 4 or 5 newspapers because they're here, like kind of just sitting in a pile by the front door.
Okay.
It's not super well kept, but it's not dirty by any means.
Better than the last shack we were in. Gotcha.
Yeah. So he says, I knew Arthur McWhirr, and I saw some of the things that he did. I do know that that Arthur thought very, very clearly thought that what he had found was important. And I believe that what his discovery was probably something worthwhile to check into. He was a respectable and upright citizen. Curiously, though, an American came to me a couple of years ago and also asked about the photographs and notes that Arthur left behind. He didn't say how he learned about the material, though, and I went ahead and lent Mr. Houston nearly all the material that I had, and then he just disappeared, which was damned inconsiderate.
I'm sorry. When did you speak with Mr. Huston?
It's probably been 3.5 years ago.
Here.
You got yes, and you guys do have one of the pictures, correct, of the party?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to show that to him?
I don't, but I'm sure Lockhart or somebody does.
Yeah, I'll show you.
That's this is Mr. Houston. He came through, took just about everything other than the diary and the 4 plates that I still have left.
Very interesting. Can you describe any of the pieces that he took?
It was mostly notes and photographs of the stones that we found and the area. I do know that I have the coordinates for the area as well. I did give those to him. They were in the notes, but I kind of memorized them. They seemed pretty important to Arthur, so I didn't want to lose those.
Yeah, Claudius would ask those of him and jot them down.
Yeah, so it's 22-3-14 south by 125-039 east.
139-0?
125-039.
125-039 east.
And that would put any of the 4 of you can roll navigate. Did anybody get the psychology roll?
I did. I got
I
a
did.
15.
I got, regular success.
Regular
Excellent.
success, yeah.
Mackenzie seems on the up and up. He seems like he's a good connection for traveling out into the outback. He knows his way around out there. He's good at survival. Doesn't necessarily know much about archaeology, but he knows when things are probably important.
Okay, fantastic.
I got a hard success on the navigate.
Nice.
I got a regular success.
Okay. So Dr. Hardgrove, what you're recognizing in McKenzie is that this would be the kind of guy you'd want to hire to kind of handle the logistics, not necessarily do any of the digging or do any real of like the archaeology work, but this is the guy that's going to know how much water you're going to need and food and how to get it there and what the best routes are and what to expect. Like he's going to be a solid contact for that kind of thing.
Okay.
And part of you probably notes down who he is for, eventually if you come back over this way, you might need somebody. He'd be a good contact for that. So the coordinates put you deep in the Great Sandy Desert of Western Australia. So the outback is inhospitable. It's a lot of scrubland. It gets hot. There are creatures like the animals there are unforgiving. So is the general area. The Great Sandy Desert is like taking that and dialing it up to 11. So it just makes it that much worse. It is known for a lack of water, which when you consider that the majority of Australia, the outback, is known for a lack of water, this is really like you have to take it all with you, and you might die out there from a lack of water.
Okay.
There are no roads. If you take vehicles, Dr. Hardgrove, you know that you're probably looking at taking extra axles and wheels, because those are the kinds of things to expect to break while you're out. It could be a very slow going travel. It might be better on horseback, except that you're going to have to take a lot of water. Even just for like the 6 of you, if all of you go, including Dodge and McKinsey, you're going to have to take a lot of water for several days. And I would say probably only David's character has probably dealt with the kind of dehydration that comes from being in that kind of heat.
Yeah.
Everybody else has probably dealt with a little bit, but not quite the same.
I'd be more used to places where you could have camels. So
Yeah. Mackenzie also does note that McWord passed away from influenza late in 1921. So it's not necessarily that anything weird happened. That's when the Spanish flu hit Australia. Or it's one of the times the Spanish flu hit Australia.
Okay.
So yeah, he'd be happy to take you. The first step would be to go from here to Concudgerie by train, and then from Concudgerie by truck. So probably with the 6 of us, plus a couple of drivers and a couple other strong hands, we're looking at 2 trucks. Should be enough to carry the water and food and equipment we would need, plus the people.
Okay.
Also the fuel, because you got to remember, it's not like you can just pull over on the side of the road at the gas station. They're like, whatever you take out there is what you have to have.
Right.
So
Okay, cool. Well, we'll do whatever we need to. We would start setting that up.
okay. So Mackenzie says it's midday-ish now. I could probably have that set up in Concudgerie day after tomorrow. I have to send a couple of telegrams out there to let them know that what we're doing, and I'll leave it to them to hire to hire the people we need,
Sure.
as long as there's money for this.
We can
They're gonna make payment when we arrive, full payment.
how much we
so-
talking?
He gives you an amount that isn't low, but is not astronomical. It sounds a little higher than what you would expect to pay to rent a couple of trucks and pay a couple of guys and for food and water, but also there's a higher level of danger involved. So
Sure.
that's probably the overhead that's being added on there.
I still have some cash left over from when we were in Darwin, so.
Out of curiosity, if you don't mind me asking, you've been here for a few years.
I've lived in Port Hedland the majority of my life.
What can you tell me about the Chapel of Bright Erudition?
The
Luminous.
chapel,
Luminous?
Luminous Erudition.
a guy came through here a few years ago. He gives you a description that sounds vaguely like your father. Says he set it up. There are a few people in town that were really involved. There came a point where a dozen or so men came through and really spent their time there. But about 3 years ago, it kind of shut down. The guy that was running it, the minister or whatever he called himself, he just stopped showing up. It was said that he was sleeping in the church. He had a back room there, but he just stopped showing up here and really running anything whatsoever.
I pull out my mother's locket and I show him the picture of my father. He look a little
How
bit like
old is-
this.
How old is that picture?
Probably 10, 15 years.
Yeah, the guy here in the picture probably could be that guy. He looked a little bit older, a little more haggard.
I can believe that. He ever say his name? Was it perhaps Quentin?
No. I believe he was going by Reverend Smith.
Okay.
So yeah, we can get that set up and get out there. It's the better part of a day's travel on train to get out to Concudgerie. It's about 150 miles away, and the train doesn't go exceptionally fast.
Sure.
And there will be a couple of mail stops along the way as well. So that's something to keep in mind. So we would probably be better off leaving tomorrow morning bright and early on the train, and then we'll stay a night in Concudgerie. I can probably find us somewhere to stay. They don't exactly have a hotel.
Okay.
And then from there, we can head out into the desert. Although I think the four of you should be prepared for very, very hot and brutal weather. I can't stress that enough, that it will. If you ever feel like you should take a drink, you should probably take 3 or 4. And when you take a drink, you should take a sip and then another sip and then maybe a little bit of a drink. Don't chug any water. It doesn't do well when you do that and you're dehydrated. So
duly noted. Appreciate the info.
We'll get through it. What if you don't mind me asking, what brought you guys out here now?
Is this Mackenzie we're still talking to?
Yeah. Dodge has kind of been sitting there smoking his pipe, and he had some of the tea, and Mackenzie had some like cheese and some cracker-ish things, like hardtack almost crackers.
Okay.
But nothing fancy. He obviously doesn't entertain very often.
Sure. Well, we've just been, we were interested in looking at that diary, first of all, which, thank you for that. And we're also looking for a gentleman out in Concudgerie by the name of Wycroft.
Let me roll. Seriously. Yeah, there are.
Yeah, and if I need to roll like a psychology or something to try to read him.
I need to roll if he remembers Wycroft.
Okay.
There's a note here that he may not. You guys learned from Wycroft from Darwin, didn't you?
Yeah. He was... I don't know, I just have Mortimer Wycroft in Concudgerie, Australia, all sandbat related. So I think he was on the bills, the shipping bills for the boxes for the Pinhue Foundation. He was the one who dropped off. He was the contact that Randall or whomever it was, Toddy, used.
Yep, there we go.
Randolph. Yeah, Toddy Randolph.
Yeah. So I've heard of Mortimer. I don't know that I have seen him. I know that he digs out in that area. He's got a different setup altogether. Like he uses guys I don't normally use. So I'm sure that if he's in town, we can find him, and if he's not, then we can get pointed in his direction if we really want to. Shouldn't be a problem.
That's fine. Out of character question, just because I may have missed it. Did Mackenzie at any time mention the Pinhue Foundation when he was talking about Huston? No. Okay, good.
No.
Have you ever heard of the Pinhue Foundation, Mr. Mackenzie?
That's a good question as well.
Use that module.
I can't say that I have. Are they local here in Australia?
Oh no, they're not. But one of the gentlemen we were talking to in Darwin intimated that Mr. Wycroft had some dealings with the Pinhue Foundation, and I was just wondering if you'd heard of them. We have a loose connection with them.
I can't say that I have. A lot of my job is, or a lot of what I do is deal directly with men like Professor Dodge and set up what they need. They don't always tell me where the money's coming from.
Sure. No, I 100% understand. We really appreciate your help. And honestly, from what I understood about Mr. Wycroft, I'm glad that you all don't use the same men. You seem like a real trustworthy fellow, and I trust your judgment on where we're headed. So, I and I'm sure my compatriots all greatly appreciate what you're offering to set up for us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is any friend of Professor Dodge is a friend of mine, as far as I'm concerned. She says if you have the money for the amount I listed, I'll go ahead and take that and then make sure that it's gets taken care of there. If you need to send for more funds, I understand that, and I can probably get that worked out with the people in Concudgerie, but I would need to know that ahead of time just in case. So.
Okay.
Let me know what that looks like.
So, Matt, GM.
Yes.
Out of character. I mean, I've got a pretty decent credit rating. I'm at a 65, I think.
Would you say that when you stopped in Sydney, you would have pulled
Yeah.
money?
Yeah.
Then that didn't have a problem with that.
In fact, I feel like I did, but I don't.
I know you
don't-
stopped by the office and pulled some other stuff. I don't remember if it
I
was
actually
money or
got
not.
money or not.
And
We
I
can
would
assume-
have and been able to kick in with that as well. So
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So there's still enough. You probably have enough that giving him this money is fine. Beyond that, because you've flown a couple of times, like your pool of money is getting a little on the tight side after you pay this.
Sure. Okay.
So,
So
if
I'll
you
probably
need to
want to
book,
send for more when we return.
yeah, if there's a potential for you guys booking it out of Port Hedland quick, that could be a problem
Okay.
in the long run. Unless
Yeah.
you're going,
I was gonna say, yeah, because my Erica money's all run out.
yeah.
No, and we
The
didn't have
Erica money-
time to get some.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Well, if we need to get out of Port Hedland quickly, I suppose we'll deal with that when the time comes. This is, Claudius is quite certain we're going to come back, but Roxanne is never sure if we're going to make it back.
Aaron's not sure we're gonna make it out alive. Period.
and that's not just the paranoia talking.
No.
Yeah. But so I would hand over that money, and then probably once we were not with Mr. McKenzie, I would want us to at least look at our funds, probably back in the hotel room, and see if there's any way that I can get some wired to the hotel.
Okay. So Professor Dodge says, why don't we get settled in at the hotel? Maybe prep what you need to go on this this thing. Keep the hotel room while we're gone. They'll keep your stuff. Anything we don't have to carry with us is going to help us in the long run. And then we can grab dinner at one of the local taverns and then get to bed early because the train ride could be a long one tomorrow. Sound
Right.
good?
Sounds
Sounds
good.
good.
So what are we willing to leave back here? That I would be
Ugh.
asking this after we're
I
alone.
assume you guys have 6 or 7 changes of clothes,
Sure. Yeah, we're not gonna bring a ton of extra stuff like that, but
but you got the books, which books are not light at all, and you only have 4 of them, but like that's still 4 books. There's some note stuff and some pictures and some clues. Like you have a lot of bric-a-brac that you could or could not take with you.
And remind me out of character, are we still lugging around that capstone?
Yeah,
probably.
yeah, you are.
So
yeah, I think we might find a good hiding place in the hotel for some of the stuff.
I'm headed up the hill to the temple.
Okay, you want to do that before you check in?
Kind of before lights go and before it gets dark out and everything.
Do you want anybody to go with you?
I'll let the team know. I'm gonna be like, look, I'm headed up to go check it out.
Yeah, I will. Why don't whoever wants to go with him, go with him. I'll get the hotel squared away and get our stuff hidden away, and then I will.
I will say that if it is truly abandoned, it'll be a good place to stash a lot of the things you want to stash.
I will go with Jimmy. Claudius, I left the name of Travis Parker, so
Right.
That's the name we're going to be under there.
Okay.
That's the name we sent ahead. And then I'm going to go with Jimmy because I don't want anybody exploring in these areas without some kind of backup.
Well, let us know, Jimmy, if that ends up being the case. But for now, I'm going to keep it here.
Very well.
And I will split from the group. I don't, wherever you go, Dalphus is fine. I plan to rejoin the group shortly, but I'm going to at least get some of this stuff inside and get checked in.
Yeah, I mean, were you trying to be by yourself, or I was going to help?
No,
bring
yeah,
stuff
you can
in?
stay. You can stay. You can stay with me. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we also still lugging around the painting that Bobby had?
Yes, but
sliced up?
it's been cut out and rolled up.
Right, but still, that's another thing that we need to find a place to stash because I don't want to haul that out into the desert.
No. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so sorry, I'm slowly
You're
eating my
just-
dinner.
You're nomming away over there. We got a game to play, sir.
Listen, my roommate is a really good cook. It's not my fault.
Didn't
Well,
say
okay, share with us then. What are you eating?
Oh, I've got this lovely plate of chicken, and then Brussels sprouts and little baby potatoes. They're delicious.
Nice.
Looks very good. Yeah.
You're breaking the
That's what-
immersion, Matthew.
I don't care. This is what they eat in Australia. Fight
And
me.
I don't think they eat Brussels sprouts in Australia.
Are they Australian sprouts? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
They have finger tails on them.
Yep. And they may or may not want to kill you. So,
Yeah.
from Australia.
It's true. So Jimmy and Aaron, you two are going up to the Chapel of Luminous Erudition. What's the plan? I'm sure Aaron's going to follow your lead.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going up, and I'll be looking around to see if anybody's paying attention to us. You know.
Both of you give me a spot hidden.
All right.
Normal success.
Hard success.
Fantastic. There are a couple of people that note that you head up that way, but they don't seem all that concerned. The chapel is just back enough away from everything else that it's like nobody ever walks back that way. Oh, hey, look, somebody's walking back that way, and then that's about it.
Okay. Well, that's a good sign.
Yeah, it seems like no one's using it.
All right, I'm going in.
Do you want to try the front door?
Yeah, I'll check the front door first.
Okay. All right. So give me a luck roll.
All right. I actually have luck again. I succeed.
Nice. Remember, it is an optional rule that we could, gain luck after every session if our GM allowed us to do that.
You know what? Fine. No, that's a good point. Everybody roll a d6. I had that much luck.
Yeah.
Except Roxy, who's trying to shame me for eating.
I'm 100% shaming you for eating.
I rolled a 6.
I rolled a 5. I'm back up to 52 luck.
I'm just jealous because
3.
what I ordered, I got 6. I'm just jealous because what I ordered for dinner ended up being absolutely terrible, and I'm still kind of hungry, and I've not had a lot of sugar today, and I'm sugar grouchy. Okay,
Hey, I'm happy after unpacking stuff. I found my other knucklebone dice. I'm very happy.
Right on.
I love
Yeah,
these dice. I have a few of them, and they're great for like character creation and stuff because they roll
Hi.
1s and 6s like all the time.
Yep.
So maybe that's not
So,
fair,
John-
but it is what it is.
John, you rolled luck and you succeeded.
Yes, I did.
So the door is locked, but when you kind of turn it and push at it, the door jamb like splinters and opens. Like it's pretty worn, and it also looks, now that you're looking at it, it's not well constructed. It's quickly constructed. So the wood's a little rotten. The building probably isn't the safest thing to be inside, but you can get right in.
I'm gonna take my risk. I'm gonna go looking around and seeing if I can find anything.
Hey, Aaron,
Yes.
can you give me a sanity check?
Oh no. That's a success. I passed it.
Fantastic. You feel the paranoia seeping in. You are able to kind of keep it at bay, but this building looks like a nightmare, just waiting to fall on you while you go inside.
Hey Jimmy, let's be careful. This doesn't look safe at all.
Probably isn't, but if you want to wait out here a moment, I'll take a look around. We'll be done soon, hopefully.
No, I'm good. I'm here to keep your back safe. So
as you guys enter, it is one relatively large room. It looks like there's a door on the left at the very back and a door on the right at the very back behind the pulpit. There are pews, probably 5 on each side. It's not a very big room. Before there's about a 3-foot raise, and then the pulpit is up there. So there's a couple of steps up as well. The smell instantaneously is of brackish water and mold. It just kind of kicks you right in the face as soon as you walk in the door. You can see a couple of spots in the ceiling where has given out, and there are holes. There is a kind of a balcony all the way around up on the second floor, up on what would be a second floor, but there's not. It's just open. There's enough walkway around, and then just a big open area. As you walk in, you can hear the wood beneath your feet creak and snap a little bit here and there. Nothing gives way, but it's very clear that the floor is not well constructed. There is some sort of like joists beneath it, but they're maybe a little too far apart, and maybe they're rotting a little bit as well. And you can see that several of the pews have mold kind of growing up them and over them in some places, and the whole place just looks like it's in decay.
Well, you're not going to want to store anything here. It's not going to last.
I was just thinking that. I mean, you definitely don't want it to like collapse on us while we're gone.
Well, not so much that as any of your books or maps are going to get ruined.
That's granted, and those books are fairly old, so they probably would decay pretty quickly here.
Yep.
Do we see a door anywhere else? Is there like a back room that we can see?
It's just the two. There's a door on the left and a door on the right at the very back behind the pulpit. That's it.
I don't think you're going to find anything of your father's in this area. You want to check the rooms out, or?
Nah, I've got a idea. And you said the stage is raised?
Yeah, about 3 foot.
Along the front of the stage, I'm going to find a piece of wood to push out.
It's all pretty solidly built, but you could probably kick at it, and the wood looks rotted enough it'll break.
Yep, that's my goal.
Yeah, give me a strength check.
Alrighty. And regular success.
Fantastic. So you kick at it, breaks open a hole almost big enough to put your head through. But a bunch of mold dust kind of kicks up from that. And you both try your best not to inhale it. I'm going to need both of you to give me a dexterity check or a constitution check.
That is a hard success for me.
And a hard success for me.
This story is going to be the one time that I used mold to murder my players in Call of Cthulhu. So yeah, you both cough a little bit. It's not terrible. What are you doing, Jimmy?
Well, before Jimmy does anything, because I know where I think he's going to do, I'm going to reach into my side bag and pull out a flashlight and hand it to him.
Cool. Sure. Makes sense.
I don't think you need to stick your hand in the dark, so why don't we check it out
nah.
first?
Shine the flashlight under the stage, particularly under the altar. So
You're going to need to give me a sanity check.
I also have plenty of that. Oh, that's pretty. So pretty. That is a extreme success, I guess.
So as you kind of lean down and
roll
flash your
tonight.
light, extreme would be anything under 5%, right?
That's it. I rolled a 6.
You lean down and flash your light underneath, and what you see staring back at you is the skull of a human, partially decomposed. It still has like patches of skin and sinew on it. It's not just all bone.
It's just desiccated.
And it looks wet.
Ew.
So you'll lose a point of sanity from that.
You're not going to see this anytime soon, Aaron.
And then once you start looking around, you flash the light around, and there are what looks like scattered bones all underneath the stage.
That's about right for Dad.
Why? What do you mean? That's about right? What's under there?
Probably what's left of his parishioners.
Sacrifice or just murder?
I don't know. I'll let you know in a moment. I'm going to pull the hole open a little bit wider.
Give me an idea check. I'm sorry, not an idea. Intelligence.
Yeah, it's all in the same, and that's a success.
Fantastic. You'd probably be better off coming from above and pulling the boards up there. It's going to give you a wider view.
I'm going to help him pull the boards up.
All right, let's go do that then.
Okay. So between the two of you pulling maybe 10, 15 minutes, you pull up enough of the boards that you don't see the whole area, but you see a good majority of it. And what you see are probably the bodies of a half dozen people. There are bits of cloth still attached to their body. Most of them are in the same state of decomposition as the one you found, the first one you found. There's one that looks like it's much less decomposed than the others. And it's kind of towards the back. And as you're pulling up all of these, you do notice that towards the back is almost like a sloped area at the very, very back, like behind where the wall is. And you don't quite see where that comes from.
Well, Aaron, I don't really want you to go through this if you don't need to.
No, it's fine. I've seen worse in the war, and before I went on this trip, was private eye, so I've seen corpses before. So that's not.
It is a little unsettling, but it is definitely not something you're not familiar with.
Right. Yeah.
The last body, it still has bits of skin that have kind of shriveled up against the bone. It looks, from a very cursory look, as though the throat might have been slit, but it's hard to tell, and neither one of you are really
wanting to touch it.
Deeply educated in that area.
Checking pockets.
Sure. You give me a roll luck for me.
Success. I don't think it was anything higher than regular success, though. Yeah, regular success.
So what you find is probably between all the pockets, maybe $3 Australian worth of change. And that's about it. No identification, no other paperwork, nothing that would indicate who they are. But also, this is the 1920s, so not having identification is not actually that far off.
And
some just didn't require.
I'm gonna look at Jimmy and like, I doubt that these people are actually even from here. I mean, a small area like this, you would have thought 6-7 people disappearing would have caused quite an uproar.
Yeah.
I mean, Mackenzie made it sound like that the church was inconsequential, that no one ever had any problems with it. It was just there, and they did their thing, and nobody thought twice. I mean, if he'd been here all his life and bodies or people had been disappearing, I think he would have remembered that.
You got a good feel off the guy?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like he was on the up and up. I mean, he's honest and he hardworking and makes his living by helping others. So yeah, I don't think he was lying to us at all.
I didn't feel like he had that look in his eye.
No, definitely not.
But I'm going to shine the flashlight down the slope.
So it slopes up, and when you kind of look up, you just can't get the right angle without really crawling into it. Do you want to try and crawl into it to look up there?
Oh yeah, I am going to have the gun in my other hand.
Are Dalphus and I going to return to this at any point, or is this going to... I don't know how long this has been taking.
I'd say right about now is probably when you guys got settled, because it didn't take all that much time to get everything into the house.
I just wanted to make sure.
No, solid point. So yeah, you guys kind of walk in as Jimmy's pushing up his sleeves and getting ready to slide on down into this hole they've ripped open.
Oh, hi guys, we found bodies.
Yeah, we come in and I'm like,
It's a
and that
fun
was
way.
when Jewel bought that red dress that everybody was so fond of, but she hated that thing. What in the hell?
What are you?
Well, I mean,
I thought we were just going to church, guys.
Well, according to Jimmy, this is what his father does.
Crawls under the Dais?
No, but
No, makes bodies.
kills
Oh.
people.
And at that point, Dalphus would probably notice the bones. Oh.
Take a look down the hole. Kind of counts.
Yeah.
That looks like more than one person, Dalphus. I'm not an archaeologist.
So 6 or 7 bodies is what you're looking at. It's hard to tell. You see 6 skulls for sure.
And then the one that there's one that's fresher than the others.
Yes, way fresher than the others. Dolphins, you'd have to guess, looking at the other bodies, 2 to 3 years they've been laying down here. The other one's probably been 6 months or less.
I love that the archaeologist is just like, I'm going in this hole, guys. I just got here and there are bones. I'm looking.
Also, it's important to
Of course
note
I'm
that
gonna look. Yeah.
the reason you're not really smelling the bodies is because the mold smell is overwhelming.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Um,
Gross.
so looking at them, what I think age, gender.
You'd have
maybe.
to do a lot more work to get gender and ethnicity. You're gonna have
Are
to
the
take
bones showing?
The bones are a lot of them. Just bones are showing.
Okay, that's all I need to know. I can tell from that.
So you would have to guess half of them are female, and half of them are male.
And I can
Age
make
is
a
a
roll
little
for
rougher
whatever
to tell,
information
but-
you want.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll archaeology for me.
I rolled a 30.
Should be a hard success at least.
Yeah, it's because it's. Oh yeah, because
archaeology is
99.
stupid high.
Yeah, my card is 99. It's so it's got to be
Yeah.
under 49, but it doesn't make the 19. So
Okay. So yeah, you looking at these, they're half are men or half are women. The newest one is a man. You'd have to guess between mid to late 20s and early 30s for all of them. And what was the other question? Gender, ethnicity. Ethnicity, you're not really sure.
You believe those are locals, Dalphus?
that's I was gonna say there's as far as ethnicity, all I want to know is were they indigenous peoples or other?
It doesn't. You'd have to guess they're white people.
Okay.
But being beyond that, it could be any white people as far as you can tell from here. Maybe with some more work and spending time on it, you might be able to figure it out. But
Sure.
who knows? Also, if they're Americans, they could just be white people, so it'd be almost impossible to really tell. So,
It was just enough to know whether they were indigenous or not. So that's
Sure.
That's
Yeah,
kind
no,
of what I was looking for.
Well,
They're definitely not.
I'm going to take a look up inside of here.
I'm not going to look up there with him because hell no, but I'm going to stand close enough to him that if he starts struggling, I'm going to yank him back.
And be prepared for whatever might happen.
So you kind of crawl down there, turn the flashlight up. I assume you're like on your back.
Yeah.
So like scut back. So you turn the flashlight up and look up, and what you see is this kind of wood turns into like a dark red as it goes up, just past where you can kind of see the bottom of it. And it looks like somewhere up on the second floor, behind the stairs, is where this starts. And it looks like bodies have just been dumped down here.
Oh. I'm gonna crawl out from underneath and let's go to wherever the bodies were dumped or pushed through or
Where they
whatever.
came from. So left door or right door?
Let's go left door.
Okay. So the left door opens and it is a set of stairs that goes up. Who's going? Are you all four going up the stairs?
Does it smell better up there, Jimmy?
I'll let you know in a moment, but just because of how dangerous this might be, I might hold back a moment.
It does look a little rickety.
Okay. Jimmy, can you give me a roll on size?
You all right?
Size,
Jimmy?
absolutely.
Yeah. Just ate too much food too fast. That's how that goes.
This is what I told
Regular success.
Okay, so you make it up the stairs. They creak and crunch a little bit. You seem to do all right. Oh, I guess this would not make sense. That's fine. Because the bigger you are, the less that would make sense. But that's fine. It's not a big deal. What's your size, Jim?
55.
Okay. What did you roll?
I rolled a 49.
Okay, works for me. So you get to the top of the stairs. You find yourself in kind of a small-ish room. There is a kind of a desk with some papers and stuff on it, but it's all moldy and bad. The smell here is a little less, but mostly it's probably because there are holes in the ceiling and there's a little bit of fresh air coming in. But what you see, kind of where you would have guessed the chute is, that you just kind of saw, is just like a little trap door. And when you shine your flashlight on that wall, there are slash marks in blood across it, as though someone has been cutting from left to right. You would have to guess right-handed. And so there's no blood on the left side, and then there's blood in like a spray pattern or a slash pattern.
What an odd thing.
Do you take a closer look at it?
Yeah.
Can you give me a mechanical repair roll?
Oh, yeah. Yay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And that is a hard success.
Excellent. So you start taking a look, and you notice that the door that's kind of there, you fiddle with it for a second and realize it's a trap door that someone would stand on top of, and then against the wall there is a lever, kind of. It's not so much hidden, but it just kind of blends in well. And when you pull that, the door starts to drop. But if you had like a full size person on there, it would probably drop right quickly. And then they would drop and slide down.
You're a piece of work, Dad. All right, I'm going to check over the desk for anything else, just searching, and then, yeah, that's going to be about it.
God,
Okay.
that's good.
The desk, everything on top of the desk is ruined. You can't even tell if there was writing on the paper or anything. You open one of the drawers, it's empty, and you open the bottom drawer, and in the bottom of it is an old flip lighter. And it looks briefly like something familiar to you. and you see the engraving of your dad's initials on the back.
Yep. He was here. I'm just going to take the drawers out entirely and just bang on the bottom of them just to make sure.
Yeah, no, nothing there.
All right. I come back down.
Anything interesting, Jimmy?
Yeah, he was here. I show him the lighter.
So is he the one? So he was the one that was killing people and dropping them down that chute?
More likely.
Wow. Well, I think we can all agree that we're not going to hide anything here.
No, I think everything's quite ruined. Let's get out of here. He took everything before he did anything to this. I'm surprised he didn't torch the place.
That's the question. Should we torch it, or are we going to let the town eventually stumble on all these bodies here, or do we need to let somebody know?
Are you sure that one of these bodies is not your father?
I'm
I mean,
pretty.
he just kind of disappeared, right?
From Dalphus's analysis, it's very unlikely
Okay. Okay.
of the bones. Like the bones would look much different on
I guess I thought there was one up behind the pulpit that was
Well,
fresher than all the rest.
most
and
the
Yeah.
might have been his dad just like dying of a coronary.
no, most of the bodies were 20 to 30-year-olds. My dad's
Oh, okay.
much older than that.
Yeah, I missed
Yeah.
that.
And
You
what
guys
is-
want-
Mistake.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and Claudius and
Dolphins.
Dalphus, sorry, long day.
Sorry.
Jimmy and I were discussing that, Mackenzie, when he was describing this church, it was like, hey, nothing weird goes on up there. They just do their own thing. I don't think any of these are locals. If they had been locals, I think Mackenzie would have said something about.
What it looks like my
Yeah,
father
but-
would do is that he would have one of them follow him upstairs. He had a trap door set up. He would have walked up to them, slashed their throats, and then pulled the lever, and they would have fallen through the floor and down a chute, down into the floor.
Well, my concern is, if you have not said this out loud, David, this is out of character. If you have not said it out loud, what ethnicity you believe they are.
Now, everything that I discovered, I would have been talking through it
Oh,
and
okay.
relaying the information. So yeah, and
Because-
making notes.
I'm of the opinion that these could be itinerant workers. Dalphus doesn't believe that they're crumbs. I lost the word. I'm only coming up
Indigenous people.
with indigenous. I had the word indigent stuck in my head, and I was like, not broke people, but
They're pretty broke
but,
now, though.
Because I could honestly believe if this town didn't notice indigenous folk going missing. But perhaps, like I said, itinerant dock workers or...
Can I get all of you to give me intelligence rolls?
I'm gonna.
dumb.
I rolled an 81. My intelligence is 80.
Hard success.
You can use luck, Aaron.
Can I do that on an intelligence roll?
Yeah, you just can't do it in combat.
Cool.
Or
I'll use point of
luck
luck success for
You
me.
don't need to if you don't want to.
Okay.
Jimmy got it. So, Jimmy, what you realize is that if there was a gold rush, and lots of guys came through here, lots of people looking for money that were headed down to Concudgerie, those are easy marks.
I will say that out loud.
See?
Yeah. So not locals.
Yep, I would agree with that assessment.
Well, all things considered. Most recent one was 6 months ago, it looks like.
Give or take, yeah.
There's a good chance, not a great chance, but there is a chance my father's around. And if that's true, we're looking at a heck of a fight coming up.
Well, are you looking to confront him or avoid him?
Oh, I'm gonna kill him.
Oh,
Well, if he's made a habit of more than a habit, if this is what he does, he needs to be killed.
Stuff like this is what he did to all our kin.
I can understand your desire to end it.
Well, gentlemen, the smell is about to overtake me. Can we please
No, please, let's get out of here.
leave this church?
I want to look over everything that your friend or whatever was doing, trying to set up everything.
There's one more door. Are you sure you don't want to check that door?
My character honestly might think it's an exit, and he'll probably just open it.
Oh, yeah. There's a small, you open the door, it's a small little room. It's got a pallet in it to sleep on. And scattered across the desk are finger bones. And a leather, what looks like was a leather thong. It looks a little decayed now, but a leather thong with that ends in an emblem that has the symbol of the bloody tongue on it.
That's not exactly what I expected opening this door. I just pick up the pallet and shake it out really quick. Anything else in there?
Roll a D3 for me.
Does he use these finger bones to cast lots or something?
Who knows? I got a 4.
On a D3?
So 2 rats
sorry.
come flying out of that bag.
2 rats.
Sorry, that would have been. I rolled a D4, not a.
That's fine. 2 rats still come flying out of that bag and scurry off, startling all 4 of you just a little bit.
Jesus.
But other than that, the bag is moist.
Ew.
Yeah, I know, right?
Everything in here is damp, isn't it? So.
Yeah, it's all damp. In fact, you guys all feel damp now. Can I get the 4 of you to roll sanity for me?
I made it. This is a nice feeling.
I failed.
I got a 17, so yes, I passed that under 66.
I did not pass that one.
Jimmy and I are
anybody
fine.
everybody that failed, roll a d6. That's what you're going to lose. Everybody that's you're going to lose 1. No, there were 2 rats, just 2.
Rats. Why did it have to be rats?
As this
Rats.
idea kind of seeps into the 4 of you at once, as Jimmy picks up the pallet and kind of shakes it, and he's like, "Ooh, moist." The liquid in here is so pervasive. It's like it's seeping into you a little bit, and you're noticing that your clothes are a little moldy now. And that your breathing that you didn't notice until just now is starting to become a little heavier. And that, maybe you had like that little bit where, oh, I caught it in the little string right here and I haven't fixed it yet, but like the hole is open, like the jacket or whatever has begun to decay. It's as though there's unnatural amounts of decay going on here.
Let's get out. Get out.
Claudius follows that instruction quite swiftly.
I'm going
go
ahead.
I need all of you to roll luck if you're quickly exiting.
Okay, and Matt, what
pass.
was the
Pass.
the D6 roll? That's how much sanity we lost? Whatever's on the D6?
Yeah,
Sanity lost, yeah.
I got a hard success.
I'm like, I'm not leaving quickly because I'm staring at the symbol of the bloody tongue, and in my head I'm just like, it makes sense now. I've got more reasons to help Jimmy kill his dad because I am like on that vendetta, and as everybody else tries to rush to leave, I'm just going to slowly back out of the room.
Okay. Then you don't need to roll luck. Good job. Anybody fail your luck?
Nope, made it.
Nope. Good. As you're running out, you can hear the floor groaning and complaining as you move across it. You get outside, and almost immediately, it's like almost like a kick of fresh air into your lungs, and it hurts for a second as you're breathing something fresh. Just like that. You know how when you walk outside when it's super cold sometimes, and you take a deep breath and it burns a little? I know that people in Texas may not understand that.
I used to live where it was cold. What?
Hey,
But
I was
you- but-
born in Iowa.
Oh, okay. So you know what I'm talking about.
Just
so like
me.
it's
I'm
that,
the
it's
only one
that-
who doesn't.
It's just David. David.
when you breathe in
and-
cold air for that first time, it can be kind of painful. It's almost like that. And then you feel the sun, not just kind of ooh, the sun, but like the sun is warm and inviting, and it kind of clears away a little bit of the dim and dankness of that building. But it is clear that your clothes are still gross and moldy a little bit, and maybe a little falling apart here and there. Something has happened. And as you look, the four of you look around as Aaron finally comes out. Each one of you looks like you've aged 4 or 5 years, although that is slowly going away.
Oh my goodness.
Are you sure that your father wasn't in there?
Well,
He could have been them finger bones.
that's possible, but
Alls I know is I haven't cared to step into a church in many, many decades, and I do not want to ever go to church with you again, Mr. Sheridan. And Claudius straightens his moldy shirt and starts to march back to the hotel.
Dalphus, give me an idea roll.
That's intelligence.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to get that right eventually.
I mean, it says
rolled a
idea
9.
on our sheet.
If your clothes decayed that quickly, your assumptions about how long the bodies have been there are wrong.
So
Also-
those bodies are really new.
Very, very likely. Also, there was a lot of dust underneath the dais. It's possible there were more bodies down there at some point that just went to dust. If it was decaying like that, who knows what happened? Does that make sense?
Yes. We have to completely rethink what we were first assuming, because that's an unnatural rate of decay.
what are you saying?
Well, okay. Well, those bodies may not have been there as long as we thought. So it could be a lot more
fresher.
recent, especially the most recent one could have been, I don't know, given the rate we're seeing here compared to that. I mean, it could be as soon as maybe just a couple weeks ago.
Jimmy, was the everything in there just was unnatural? Is that something your father did back home, or is this new?
Oh, this is very new.
Because that was some serious,
Look,
dare I say, dark stuff in there. More so, I mean, murdering people is dark, but I mean, I just felt like everything was just aging on me. Like everything was just growing old and
look,
dirty and
let's get off. If we're going to have this conversation, let's get off the street. Let's get out of these clothes and see if we can have some staff run some out to someplace. We might have a bath or someplace. Change out really quick.
Yeah, the hotel you have has a communal bathroom on the floor that you guys are on, but you also have all 4 of the rooms that are up there. So
I don't want to take
between
these clothes back up to the room.
you're just gonna strip in the street.
Well, no, I'll go to that communal bathroom and see if we can get staff to bring us some clothes.
yeah.
Oh,
Burn what? Yeah, I'm definitely wanting to burn. And then after we bathe, because I had it on me, I got to go clean my guns because I'm afraid they were corrupted now.
yeah. You notice that the rounds you had in your guns were corroded a little bit, like they'd been sitting in water, and they may not even fire.
And I'll tell that to the group, gentlemen. If you had your sidearm with you, definitely check it. And I show them my bullets and how they're fuzzy and corroded and just not worth anything anymore.
Claudius is
Might probably
very.
field stripping and cleaning tonight then.
Yeah.
Claudius seems very. Just so you all know, he seems very put out by this. That something like ruined some of his ammunition and his clothes. This is an unexpected. I mean, getting dirty is one thing, aging and, or I know it went away, but this is all. He's
welcome to the party, Claudius.
He's more just, indignant that how dare, as he throws
Just
away his bullets.
So we're gonna fast forward just a little bit, but first we're gonna take a break, Roxy.
Okay.
Now's a good time to hit a break real quick, and we'll be back in 10?
10 minutes.
And we'll continue on.
Alrighty,
Sounds
we'll
good.
see y'all in a minute. Bye bye.
All right.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Illuminated Page. This is not the Nerds Domain Presents Masks of Nyarlathotep, no matter how much my mind wanted to say that. This is the Illuminated Page. We are still in Australia. Everybody's a little bit younger now than they were a few minutes ago.
Thank goodness.
We just checked out a church, the Chapel of Luminous Erudition, and now we're going to zip forward to dinner. Everybody's cleaned up a little bit. Professor Dodge invited you guys to come down to the little tavern down the street to grab some food, and just enjoy dinner there. Can I get all of you to roll listen for me?
Listen. What is my listen?
I'm not getting that one tonight.
Ooh, I was close. I'm 10 above it, but I'm not going to spend any of that luck, I don't think.
I rolled an 8.
No.
Okay.
Nice. Aaron
So
heard
I
cod.
I'm lucky because I don't have any training in that, so I'm at 20%. So I got a
Wow.
regular success.
That's
I'm going to spend
hard.
3 luck so that I also have a success.
You have a hard
Fantastic.
success, Aaron.
Oh, hard success. Cool. Thank you.
Math.
So you hear a bunch of chatter. A little bit. This tavern is kind of clearly like the place where people go to eat here in town, one of a couple of them. And the people there are friendly with each other. They know each other. They give you guys space unless you engage them. Mackenzie does come out to kind of grab a beer with you, but he kind of just sits there and doesn't eat. It's probably because he ate at home. But a couple of things you hear. You hear a lot of talk about gold-bearing reefs, which are really just exposed lines of mineral deposits that stretch for hundreds, maybe thousands of miles out in the outback. That there are tons of deadly snakes out in the desert. There's an American fellow who dug a mine shaft in the sand, and his name is John Carver. His outfitting was done by Montgomery Wycroft, right in Concudgerie.
What was the name before Wycroft? What was his name?
John Carver.
Is Montgomery Wycroft any relation to Mortimer?
I meant Mortimer Wycroft. I have no idea why I read Mortimer and said Montgomery.
Does that
Claudius.
name Carver?
Oh, go ahead.
So that name Carver sounds familiar. Is there some reason I should know that name, Matt?
Not from this game.
Saved Mars once.
No, that's Carter.
Carter, John Carter of Mars. That's that. Hey, John, that's what it was, though, John.
There has been a ghost seen up by Dingo Falls, which is north of Concudgerie. It could pass. It could pass its hand straight through somebody's body. There was a big mining disaster far to the east, but the company responsible paid off the politicians, and the whole thing was hushed. Some 25 men were killed, among them Derby Dave the Welshman, who did some work for Montgomery Wycroft.
Mortimer Wycroft?
Mortimer. Gee, I did it again. His name is Mortimer Montgomery Wycroft.
Okay, good to know.
Canon
Claudius
now.
rescinds any questions he may have had about this.
And what was the Welshman's name?
Derby Dave.
Derby Dave.
3 huge birds were seen in the area about 2 weeks ago. The guy talking about it swears they must have been 25 feet at wing. He took several shots at them to try and bag one, but they were well out of range.
Okay, so 1 second. For Roxanne, who's scribbling furiously.
Yeah.
John Carver, an American, dug a pit with Montgomery, or with Mortimer. I wrote Montgomery because that's what with Mortimer Wycroft, right?
Yes, he dug a mine shaft.
Mine shaft. That was, I couldn't think of the word. Then there's a ghost in Dingo Falls who can put its hand through people.
Yep.
Then I missed what killed Derby Dave the Welshman.
Collapsing mine shaft.
Collapsing
mine shaft. The politicians were paid off, and the whole thing was hushed up.
Okay, and it's not the same mine shaft?
And Derby Dave worked for Wycroft.
Yeah.
He did at one time do some work from Wycroft.
But this
Okay,
was
You get the
not...
impression that Derby Dave is a guy that's been around here and there for a while, but had gone far east, and that's where he died.
Oh, okay. So, but what I was also asking, or Claudius is asking, is like, is the mine shaft that collapsed on the Welshman, does that happen to be the same one that was dug by John Carver?
No.
Okay. And then we also had 3 huge birds, 25-foot wingspan, spotted.
Yeah.
Where?
I'm looking for that one again. Hold on, sorry. There they go. In the area near Concudgerie.
Okay.
So all these facts were in and around Concudgerie.
Yeah, Dingo
here,
Falls is a
yeah.
little north. We don't know where the mine shaft was exactly that collapsed.
Yeah, the mine shaft is vague where it's at.
And you mixed some important facts that they were talking about the deadly snakes in the desert too.
Yeah, deadly snakes and gold-bearing reefs.
I've got a question for y'all.
Do you want me to give you the rest of these before you ask that question,
Yeah.
or do you want to go ahead and ask that?
Nope.
Okay,
I'm gonna
cool.
wait until we get
Either
all
way
the...
is fine. Some drovers who brought in beef over the canning stock route swore that things the size of bears stole some of their cattle. This was about a year ago. The attacks were alleged to have taken someplace east of Percival Lakes.
Okay.
So beasts the size of bears.
Mm-hmm.
5 or 6 years ago, a bloke claimed that he found big squared off blocks of stone out in the desert. It wasn't indigenous work, and he bought drinks for the whole pub to prove he was telling the truth. When you guys overhear that one and seem to take just a little bit of interest, Mackenzie leans over and goes, "That was McWhirr. I was there that night. He did buy a lot of drinks, a lot of drinks."
And you said that was a squared off stone. What was the rest of that description?
Big squared off blocks of stone out in the desert. It was not indigenous work.
Not indigenous.
And the last one. Two. I'm sorry, I've got 2 more. A crazy American bloke took a crew of a dozen men into the bush, had them dig a shaft 30 feet deep, then told them to stop, gave them a big bonus, and sent every man back to Darwin to collect his pay. This is a while ago.
And a 30-foot shaft, you said?
Yeah. And the last one, there's an underground city somewhere in the desert. Ways exist in and out of it, but the sands shift constantly, bearing and exposing the entrances. Evil things live there. Ooh.
Well, that's kind of good that some of this talk kind of verifies what we're heading out for, because we've already had clues that there were a hidden city, and we knew about the big blocks before this too, didn't we?
No.
Yeah, that was what McWhirr's books were
Right.
about. His journal.
Where are
I
the
don't
things
recall
as big
of-
as bears that stole some cattle? You said that was near. Did you say the river or
East
something?
of
You said it was
Percival
near
Lakes.
Percival Lake.
Percival, okay.
Yep.
I don't recall us ever hearing of a underground city. Am I?
Well, not underground, but definitely hidden.
I don't remember that at all. Is that another McWhir thing that I just blanked on? We were coming. Why did? Yeah, we just came here for cowls and then anything we've gotten here. I don't remember anybody talking about a city. I mean, it's
I've got-
interesting. Huh?
I've got nothing. It's possible, but I've got nothing.
Yeah, I'm looking at my notes.
I mean, it's not a big deal. We know now. But, question for you, Mr. McKenzie. Have you heard... we heard some rumors in Darwin, too, about this area of town, or, you know, this, about the Great Sandy Desert.
Hmm.
Have there been, reports of bodies being found with several puncture bites?
I know that that's what McWhir said in his diary about one of the bodies, about some of the bodies that were when he was attacked, but I haven't heard anything about any of that. But
That was
it's
something.
also possible there are bodies out in the desert with those puncture wounds, and they just that never got reported back.
Okay. Well, that was something that a man of questionable reputation told Mr. Sheridan back in Darwin when he was looking for some information and some goods. Just said that there have been bodies found in the Great Sandy Desert covered in tiny puncture bites.
Hmm.
Have you ever heard of a man named Filbert? It's quite a unique
Filbert? Can't say that I have.
name. Okay. Just seeing
So-
if you could tell if he was a reliable source or not, but he was the one who gave us the information. But no, that's quite fascinating. What were you saying, Aaron?
So I'm looking through my notes, and it's like I'm going to tell the group. So remember when the last bar we were in, we heard a Corey rumor that there was a wonderful city somewhere out in the desert where an old man was sleeping and would raise up and destroy the world. So that's why when I heard the rumor of the hidden city in the sands, that's why I thought we had heard it before. So
it's just it's a Corey myth.
well, that's the second time this is the second time in two different places we've heard that rumor.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
just
it
I
was a
just
Co-
didn't
it was a
write
Corey
it down.
myth.
I think Roxanne just took it as a Corey myth. She didn't write it down. And so,
Yeah, no, that's why I'm like,
no,
ooh,
that's
another hidden
good
city
notes. Yeah,
reference.
that's good notes. Interesting.
Actually, I mean, a lot of these rumors we've heard just seem to point more and more that there's something weird going on in that
No,
area.
there's definitely something strange happening. Well, the blocks of stone that you saw there that McWhir saw, were you with him when he found the stones, or were you just here in the
No, I was just
Pub.
here and heard about them later.
Did he believe they were similar to maybe like pyramid stones or anything like that?
Sorry, let me reread this. Actually, from the journal as well,
Mhm.
the journal suggests that there's a city under the desert.
Oh, okay, interesting.
March 23rd, we have discovered what appears to be remnants of an ancient city rising from the shifting sands. I believe I have secured several good photographs of this amazing find, though the heat has ruined all but 6 of my photographic plates. By the pitting of the stones, the blocks and pillars appear to be more than 10,000 years old. That's the stones out in the desert
Tough.
from the journal. If these are the same ones, then that's the same description.
I would lean over to Dalphus and kind of say that 10,000 years old. In
Well, that definitely piques my interest.
In Jules' notes, she mentions that particular item that y'all have been carrying around. It was dated about the same time, I thought. Was it not?
Is that right? I think that's right.
Let me find
Give
it.
or take, yeah.
It was something, and it might not have been the capstone, but it was like, because there was like a tablet and a capstone, I think, that we found at the one woman's house.
Yeah. She died after we talked to her.
The Red Pyramid is about 5,000 years old.
Yeah, that was the capstone, but we also found a limestone tablet, I thought. Who knows?
Go
I
back
have
to
a
a
lot of
different
notes.
notebook.
It would
Jewel
around the
was
same.
Jewel was prolific, so I mean, there's really no telling in here. But anyway, yeah. So, he would just mention that to you, Dalphus, and then interesting. So 10,000. I mean, that would be interesting. Have you ever seen any? Is Mackenzie? Are you going with us, sir, or are you just sending us out to?
I'd be happy to go with you. I assumed I would be.
No, I don't know
The men
about
I hire are going to be good at what they do, but I think it would be better to have.
I would trust you at this point quite a bit. So I just confirming that was probably more of a Roxanne confirming that because I don't remember for sure. But
Yeah, and I found my notes on that the broken tablet was from the Red Pyramid. So
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like 7 by 9 inches. Is that the one, David?
yeah, so it would have been about the same age as the capstone then, right, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah, give or take.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that we did. It was
Yeah, same limestone
Yeah.
used as facing on many pyramids. Inscriptions are easily thousands of years old. Then there was also the light pink and rose tablet, likely a facing stone from Red Pyramid. It doesn't matter. Yeah, one
Yep.
was a white stone tablet, one was a red, light pink tablet. Anyway, so no, that actually gives me some comfort, Mr. Mackenzie. Do you know right about where? I mean, we're headed for Concudgerie primarily. Do you know about where those stones were that Mr. McWhirr mentioned?
I have an idea of where it's at. I can get you in that general area,
That's
but
fine.
with the way the sands shift,
Of course.
you know,
They could
I-
all
I'm
be
not-
covered by now.
yeah, and I'm sure I could get you there. It's it's going to be difficult to be sure exactly. But you do have the coordinates though.
For the other place, yeah. Or is that all in the same area?
That's all the same area.
right.
Oh, okay. Okay, fantastic. Well, let's focus on Concudgerie and then we'll head to those coordinates.
So Mackenzie, or not Mackenzie? Yeah, Mackenzie. So the locals were talking about snakes. How much of a concern is that going to be when we head out?
Well, snakes, scorpions, lots of stuff are going to be out there that we're going to have to stay away from. Some of the lizards out there are
Spiders.
poisonous. Spiders, although spiders are a little more east of here, back towards Sydney a bit. Once you get out into the desert, they're a little less prevalent that you see. Once
What
we
about
get
rats?
set up,
There's not going to be rats, is there?
no, shouldn't be any rats. But once we get set up at night, if you wake up and you have to go to the bathroom, watch what you're doing.
Well, my concern is, are they big? Like
Big
Are we
ones, small ones, as big as your head.
like python sized, like almost man sized? Are they any of the
I
concern?
wouldn't call them that. No, we're talking.
Like, are we talking about coconuts here, or are we talking about snakes? I mean,
Well,
hey,
I don't know.
when did
I
y'all
don't
get
know-
so afraid of snakes and spiders? And
Well, I don't
rats?
know if Jewel documented it in her journal, but we had some confrontations with some fairly large snakes while we were in England.
Those were
Oh.
lizards. Or no, those were no. You're right. I would say you got your American
Did you?
rattlesnakes, right?
Did
Yeah,
you?
I'd say probably that size ish.
Where did we
Oh,
see
okay.
snakes in England?
that's when Bobby got his snake skin.
Yeah, but he was in a
Awesome.
painting. They didn't come out.
Yeah, the lady turned into
The
one.
lady turned into a
Yeah, the
giant
lady
snake.
turned into one you guys killed.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nagini. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. She didn't
Yeah,
mention
I'm
that.
playing into my paranoia.
She didn't mention. She didn't mention that in particular. She did mention that you got clocked pretty good.
I did.
She thought that was kind of amusing, but
I'm not so
That you
worried
got beat up
about.
by a old lady.
she's a jokester or
No,
the
it was
frail
her son
artist.
that. No, it was her son that
It was a
clocked the
starving
crud out of
artist.
me.
Clocked him and did darn near killed the man.
Dude, it almost gave me a major wound. It was horrible.
Jewel found that quite amusing.
I've been
After the fact.
I've been studying up on this place since we were
Where's
on the
the
boat.
snake juice? Did we ever do anything with that?
It burst open. in
No,
the
no,
pyramid.
that was his.
Oh, then I
That
have no
was
idea.
his little metal thing. Do we still have the syringe and the green snake juice?
Yep.
Probably
Sure
enough
did.
supply-
Nice.
Yeah.
Claudius is fascinated by it. He probably spends time looking at it in the evenings.
Well, that's good.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't open it, but yeah, stare at it. We don't know what it does.
He tells Dalphus, he's like, if Aaron gets any more paranoid, I'm just going to inject him with some while he sleeps. And see what happens.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what you should do.
No.
Anyway. But yeah. No, all of this sounds equally terrifying and intriguing, Mr. McKenzie. I am looking forward to this. I haven't got to wear my safari hat in quite some time.
Okay.
Be prepared for my pith helmet, y'all. I got it custom made
Aren't you
from a manufacturer in Milan, if you can believe it.
If I get a chance to, was there like a small mercantile or trading store? Because I have got not a single thing that will work in the outback. My little PI suits and hats are not going to cut it.
Dalphus
no,
pulls
they-
this out. I was like, I got mine from Sears.
That's probably right. Here's Roebuck.
There's nothing wrong with Messrs. Sears and Roebuck. Mine was a gift, and I've never really gotten to go on a safari, but it looks quite fetching in the desert with my tan safari outfit. I'm just sorry. I've never gotten to go on a trip like this where we do like a walkabout.
Well, I hope you still remember it fondly once and if we survive it.
Once people start dying.
I've been working as a porter in Egypt for the last 3 years. This is not too different.
Yeah. It's true.
Jewel would have hated
Okay.
this. She hates the sand. I don't know if she ever told y'all.
Is because it gets everywhere?
It's a long
No.
story about
That's
an
not-
irrational
that's
fear
not.
she's had since childhood, but that's for another day.
I hate sand.
It gets everywhere. Love me.
Thanks, Annie.
Annie, are you okay?
No, he was not. He was
Are you okay?
emotionally stunted, and the Jedi let his mother die in the desert. So I would hate the desert too if I were him.
It's true. It's true. Okay, so you guys head out to Concudgerie the next morning.
Train ride.
The train ride goes by very boring. It's a narrow gauge railway. It has one train daily, a freight train.
Oh, so we're
You
riding
guys-
in the lap of luxury.
You ride on the flat car, and a few indigenous men sit at the other end and look at you curiously. It takes the better part of 8 hours. The day is scorching. The land is dry. The water course is empty. Though trees trace some of the ravines, but nothing like forests or even copses exist. There are no farms. During the journey, nothing moves except 3 very large birds winging lazily in the distance. Given the rocking of the train, it's almost impossible to use a telescope or binoculars to better identify them. Having read the journal and heard the stories, the birds seem a little concerning.
Yeah, I'm like
They
really
are
concerned about it.
Noted.
So
Yeah, they are
we can't see them?
noted. I'm sorry.
We can't see the birds.
Yes, they are off at a distance, but they are definitely birds out there. It is noted on March 21st in the journal that he saw birds then as well.
And this would be roughly the same shape and size of what we saw when we were in Egypt.
That was what I was going to ask. Are these actually birds or are these some sort of flying?
It's hard to tell from this distance.
Okay.
And we can't see them with our binoculars.
Right.
You can't get because the way. Yeah. It's really difficult. A mining town, Concudgerie bustles even in the heat of the day. Besides the established mines and miners, the place caters to many prospectors, thousands of horses and camels, mules, hundreds of trucks, and a few ladies of easy virtue. I like how they put that.
That is a nice.
Easy virtue. Their virtue,
Yeah.
not hard.
It's not firm. They're not firm in their ways. You know.
Are any named Miss Kitty?
Places of ill repute.
Several of them are Miss Kitty.
Oh, you know Miss Kitty too, then, Aaron.
Miss Kitty May. Or
Oh.
she may not.
I know Miss Kitty June.
Mackenzie seems at home on the train, like he's made this trip more than once. In fact, he even pulls his hat down and naps part of the way in the heat. Professor Dodge, not so much. Dalphus, you get the impression that Dodge has done a lot of theoretical work in archaeology and has been on exactly 0 digs. He's motion sick from the train. It's not that bad.
You heard it too.
He complains about the heat. He complains about the dust. He complains about the heat. He complains about the train. He complains about the sun. He is an unhappy man the whole way.
Sir, Dodge, look, it's miserable. I'm from New York. This is outside of my short time in Egypt when it wasn't exactly like this. Look, the more you complain about it, the worse you make it for all of us. So just could you keep the complaining on the little quieter, please?
He quiets down a little, but not so much.
I mean, would you care to return to Sydney?
No. This is very important. I should definitely come along with you. I would love to see Professor Hardgrove's take on these things and really get a chance to get down in the dirt.
Did we ever, out of character question to the group, have we ever done a psychology check on this chap? Is he okay, or is he a cult member?
No, it was he's wanting to ride our shirt tails to get
That's
a free
right. That's
a
right.
free
Okay.
Free expedition.
And clearly now it's over his head.
Yeah, and now clearly is miserable.
So Dalphus is probably kind of okay too, because he spent a lot of time in Cairo.
Yeah.
So it's probably just
Dalphus-
like Claude. I am very uncomfortable, and I am sweating
Ditto.
quite profusely, and my hat looks striking, but I think from underneath it you can already see just rivulets of
you get probably
perspiration.
an hour and a half into the day, and Mackenzie
And I probably
pulls
dry
a hat-
out.
Mackenzie pulls a hat out and kind of hands it to you, like a wide-brimmed, like shading hat instead of a pith helmet. Doesn't say a word. Just kind of, here you go.
I'd actually show my hat that I use in the field in real life, but it's in the truck.
No worries. We've seen your hat before, David. I probably about
Those who
that
follow
time.
me on social media, there's a good picture.
I'm sure that I have stopped sweating at this point because I have no more liquid in my body.
Oh
I
no, Mackenzie is keeping you guys hydrated
Okay.
too.
I was
Like-
gonna say I would be checking people for that too, like making
Yeah,
sure.
so like between the two of them, they're like, no, you're gonna need to drink something, and you're gonna need to drink a little more.
And at some point when we're out there, I'm gonna mention to Dodge, like, look, if you feel yourself just being way too hot, the next time you need to urinate, just piss on your neckerchief that you got there and tie it around your neck. It'll help cool you off.
Oh no, we're back to the pee.
Yep, it's all the pee all the time. So yeah, Mackenzie seems all right.
Nobody else will. I will not tell anyone else to do that. Just Dodge.
I'm sure Dodge is like, oh
Okay.
yes, Professor, yes, thank you for this.
You guys, Mackenzie also helps you move on the flat car to sit in the shade as the day goes. The indigenous people are doing the same on the other end, but they just kind of leave you alone. They don't really want anything to do with you. It's not that they're rude; it's just that they're not approachable either. So,
If
I
I
was gonna say
attempted to go and
Claudius
talk
might-
to any of them, would they like be standoffish? Would they not want to talk?
I was gonna say Claudius might offer him some tobacco.
if you offer them some tobacco, they'd be happy to talk with you guys.
Would you guys like a cigarette? Because Claudius is gonna start smoking his pipe.
One of the men kind of shuffles over because you can't walk real well on this flat car because the flat car doesn't exactly
there's no
have
sides, yeah.
so as it has boxes that are tied down along the edges, but that's about it. And so he kind of shuffles over and takes the 3 cigarettes, puts one in his mouth, and takes the other 2 back to the other guys, and they light up and smoke. He doesn't seem unwilling to stop and talk. He just doesn't stop and talk. Do you want to go talk to him, Dalphus?
Yeah.
Sure. So you kind of shuffle over there. They all 3 kind of look up. They don't seem unhappy. They just start smoking and staying in the shade as much as possible. They all have water with them, but nothing else really. No bags or anything.
I would just ask them sort of about local area legend and stuff like that I might be able to
Sure.
make notes of.
Give me. Do you have a persuade or a charm?
Okay, let's
Do, you,
see.
do they speak the
Persuade,
same language? Do they speak English?
Charm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Charm. I'll go with persuade. It's a little better.
It may not be the best English, but they definitely speak English. It's really hard to get around in Australia at this time without
sure.
Okay, I have succeeded on charm. Is that good enough to be? I'm sorry, not persuade. I could spend 2 luck and it would be a extreme success.
that. Ooh. Okay.
It's a hard success right now.
It's up to you.
Is it worth spending the luck? Spend the luck?
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. It's 2. It's 2 luck. I'll
It's
spend
just
it.
2.
Sure.
You can get it back next week.
So yeah, you guys, as you guys go, I'd say this is probably a little after lunch, and they, they start telling you about the great bat of the desert that they've heard about the mighty snake that will swallow us all.
Oh, great. Back to the snakes.
Yeah. They tell you a couple of different stories, a lot of just things you've heard or heard renditions of before. They all seem pretty innocuous. But then they talk about the great city where the sleeping one lies.
There we go.
It matches up with some stuff you've heard before, but also the area they talk about where the supposed city is located sounds like where you're going. You're not 100% familiar with Australian geography, but it sounds like generally in the same area. Supposedly that's where it's supposed to be. And then that's about it. I mean, they don't really have any other. They tell you some other tales, but nothing really else really sticks out or strikes you as strange. Their English is relatively good, a little broken here and there, but it's pretty solid. They do talk occasionally among themselves in a language you're having a lot of trouble picking up any bits of. That's not something you've really heard before.
If at all he can hear us over the sound of this train. Claudius, ask them about the birds.
Your name
Or
is Claudius.
Dalphus. Ask them about the birds. I've lost my mind. I'm having heat stroke. No.
Has the heat got to you, Claudius?
Shut up,
One-
Dalphus. Just ask them about the birds.
One of them looks at the other one and says something in their native language, and they both start laughing. And the one that spoke turns to you and says, "The emus have aerial units now." That's why the Australians can't beat them.
I laugh along with them. Not exactly sure what they mean, but I laugh anyway.
Sure. But yeah, no, they don't know what they are, but they're probably just big vultures or something.
25-foot
I
wingspan.
assume
vultures.
Australia has vultures. They probably have pinchers and like spider legs or
Bigger than
something.
Apologies to any of our
California
viewers that may
great
be
condor.
stationed in Australia, whether by birth or
Yeah,
residency.
listen, I love Australians, and I apologize for anything I get wrong about Australia. However, I just assume that whatever the worst case scenario I could assume is for an animal, it's just worse there. Like, oh, bears attacking you. That sounds terrible. You know, it's really worse. Syphilitic koalas that are all hopped up on eucalyptus, dropping from trees and scratching people to death. Because that's happened.
Actually, one of my favorite memes is like this little cute pygmy mouse around someone's finger. It's like, not everything wants to kill you, or not everything can kill you in Australia. Don't get us wrong. It wants to, it just can't.
It just can't.
Just can't. Yeah. So,
I would look at Jimmy and be like, "Are you all right over there?"
I'm fine. Not much I can do here.
it's probably not the first flat car Jimmy's ridden on. Probably wouldn't be the last either. Like, you get where you got to get, how you got to get there. So, yeah, the rest of the day goes pretty easy. Not all that, interesting. We talked about Concudgerie and what it looks like. So you kind of pull into town, and it's just that's it. You find a small, bustling town, a few hundred people, not huge, but definitely a lot of activity. You can tell that there's probably a lot of money down there, but not necessarily spent well. Like gold spins, but the people digging it up aren't industrialists looking to profit. They're looking to run their own little claims and do their own little thing.
So Mackenzie, you were able to wire ahead, so we should be ready to go in the morning.
Yeah, I need to finish up some stuff tonight and make sure everything's settled. I might need a mechanic. Just depends on if one of the guys that I sent ahead for can do the mechanic work or not.
I have experience in that too.
Oh, well, that makes it a whole lot easier. I don't need to worry about that then. But other than that, I just need to finalize everything. I'll give them money and get everything set. We probably leave first thing in the morning, though. We want to get some of that travel in when it's cool. Once we get out in the desert, overheating the trucks will overheat pretty easily.
That's good.
That's fine by me. Whew.
Okay. So you guys walk kind of into town. Mackenzie goes off to head off to the outfitter that he's been working with. And as you're kind of walking down looking for the hotel that he says that he has set up for you, which he told you is more like it's a bar that has a room above it with some mats in it to sleep on. It's not great.
That's fine. That's fine.
You do wander across an outfitting company, the Wycroft Outfitter.
Interesting.
Yeah. Are you guys going to go check into the hotel?
Yes, yeah. We shall
yeah.
check into our community room. It's more a hostel, I believe, but works. We're on an expedition.
You're going to be good with that, Claudius? I mean, yeah, I know, roughing it is not exactly
Oh, I can rough it.
your
son.
enjoyment.
I can rough it. How are you going to be sharing a room with all these other gentlemen?
Me personally? As long as I got a wall to my back, I'll be fine.
Sounds good to me.
Very well.
Jimmy's just like, I don't know what's going on here.
Okay. Are you going to let the night go by, or do you want to check out the Wycroft Outfitter?
I think Claudius will stop by there.
I'm going to look into. Is the Wycroft Outfitter the one doing our?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Then I'm going to be looking into just double checking everything for our trip. I mean, my character is going to be like, okay, who is it? Where are they going? What supplies do they arrange? And basically, I'm double checking all the work that got done.
You want to go? You want to go with McKinsey and check on that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
So the Wycroft, does it deal in small sundries as well as like outfitting entire expeditions, or?
Bits here and there.
All right, I'll go with Claudius. I want to find a really cool Australian hat for in the desert.
And Professor, where are you headed?
I also want to go for the Outfitters because it's Wycroft.
So Jimmy, you head with McKinsey. Mm-hmm. He actually walks you through it. Like he explains what he's doing and why it's a little different than like going through Egypt, where there's a lot more civilization near the digs. This is going to be like way out in the middle of nothing. Okay. So like he walks you through it, tells you why he has so much water and how much he thinks he needs. He's like figured in evaporation and like he really walks you through every step of everything. And he does it like real politely, just kind of to help you understand where he's coming from. Shows you the trucks that you guys are going to be taking. Make sure that you're at least familiar enough with their engines that you think you can get it handled, and that you are. They're your regular old. They're Australian made, but they're your regular old engines that you would expect anywhere else. But yeah, he walks you through everything. It takes a better part of 2 hours to go through because he's checking all of it, and then he interviews and talks to the four guys. Two of them are indigenous. But they are dressed like Europeans. So they're in like when you meet them, they're in like suits and ties, but like kind of dingy, a little worn.
Okay.
And then the other two guys are just some men that McKinsey has used. All four of them are men that McKinsey's used before. He feels pretty solid with all four of them. That they're going to be able to do the things that he needs done. Right. Meanwhile, the other three of you head to Wycroft. It's sitting in front of the place are three indigenous men. They seem to be prepared to pump the gas from the gas pump right there. There is a small pump out front that they pump from, but you guys kind of walk in. It's the dingy shelves. There are dingy shelves behind the U-shaped counter. They're stuffed with coveralls, cookware, boots, ropes, chain, heavy rope, miner's lamps, hats, everything you would really, really need.
To go gold digging.
Yeah. He says, and a man, he is, sorry, where'd size go? There he is. He's like 5'10". I mean, like 5'10" man steps out. His skin is white, like a ghost almost. His eyes are sunken, and his frame is skeletal at best. He looks almost like death in the way that he stands. He says, welcome to my shop. I am Mr. Wycroft. What can I help you find folks with today?
Is his hair also white? Like, is he albino?
Yes.
Okay.
He is. You'd have to guess that he's albino. Yeah.
And I'm gonna be like, excuse me for being forward, but would you happen to be Mortimer Wycroft?
I am.
Oh, great. I just want to make sure we're talking to Mortimer.
Claudius gives Aaron a look and mumbles something like, Jules said.
No. I'm gonna continue that we heard that you outfit expeditions when we were in Port Hedland.
Yeah, that is my primary business. I sell bits and sundry to some of the diggers as well.
Well, I'm looking for a hat. Something to keep me shaded and cool while we're out in the outback. But I want to look good while I'm wearing it too.
He pulls one down off of a shelf. It is dusty. He says this one, and he kind of like slaps it across his leg a little bit. Says this one's used. I bought it off a man who said he was done mining, but it served him well enough to keep him alive. I won't say it's going to be good for digging. You're going to be doing a bunch of digging soon?
No, more prospecting at the moment.
Okay.
Surveying the area, seeing what we might want to get into.
Did you get a plot out here, or are you looking to buy one? I do know some men that are looking to sell, so that's always something I'd be happy to help set you up with for a small fee, of course.
Oh, of course. We've got a few leads that we're checking out, but we will, if they don't pan out, we will be most definitely coming to you for.
Okay. And
leads.
the idea that he would help you for a fee is actually not out of the question.
Right.
Like seems pretty normal.
Hey, Matt,
Yeah.
while they're talking about that, I want to be observing. Hopefully, maybe get a psychology roll out of it. But definitely, I want to be looking to see if he's got that telltale leather thong around his neck.
Sure. Give me a spot hidden, actually.
Okay.
And actually, Aaron, you can too.
Okay.
You're paranoid enough.
Claudius is looking at other things and not.
I rolled
not
an
associating.
effing 1.
Nice.
well,
I rolled a 24, so that was a hard success for me.
Not
he
exactly the
does
roll
not-
I would want this kind of a roll on, but hey.
He does not have a thong. He's not showing anything that would suggest that he's part of any cult.
I feel like that was a waste.
Yeah. No, I mean, it could have been worse.
I'm gonna to keep talking. I'm gonna be just as I'm looking at the hat and we're looking over other things. So you said you've been here for how long?
Oh, years.
So you've
I've
been in
been
business
here-
for quite a while.
Here in Concudgerie for 5. I was out of Darwin for a while before that. I've been in Australia, and his accent is definitely German-ish, but it's also kind of light. It's very light. I was in Darwin for a couple of years before that, so I'd say almost a decade now I've been down here.
I'm still not associating with these two, but he probably knows that we came in roughly at the same time. But
Yeah.
oh, Darwin, that's why I've heard your name. Your name sounded very familiar to me, and I had to stop in. By the way, Matt, are there any advertisements or anything on this building, or is it just Outfitters, Wycroft Outfitters?
No advertising.
No advertising. Okay, cool. We were. I was getting some things shipped out of Darwin, and we were just talking, and we were shooting the shit about this, that, and the other. Me and old Toddy Randolph, and we got to talking about. I said I was headed to Port Hedland, and we talked about the gold rush and all that stuff out here in Concudgerie, and he said that you had shipped some things through him many a time.
I do ship some things out of Darwin occasionally.
Yeah.
Depends on if I have it that far out, if they're going to head that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Claudius is mentioning these names to see if anything sparks in him that looks suspicious.
What name did you mention?
Oddies.
Toddy Randolph.
Toddy Randolph.
Can you roll, all three of you roll psychology for me?
Where's my good dice?
Fail. I'm way interested in that hat.
Nope.
Yeah, I can't.
Knew I wasted that 1.
I can't make that happen. That was a.
So
pretty bad-
nobody succeeded?
Nobody
No.
succeeded.
Oh, I love you guys. One of the indigenous men comes inside, and he says something in that same language that you guys heard on the train. And Mortimer just responds back in the same language. I need all three of you to give me spot hiddens.
Okay, that one I made. Quite well.
That one I failed. I'm really into that hat.
I'm going to spend one and get a hard success.
Cool.
I got a regular success.
Okay. So as the man is talking to him, he motions a couple of times. You notice on his left bicep is a tattoo of what looks like part of a spiral peeking out from under his short sleeve shirt. Can't see much more than that, but there is definitely a tattoo on his skin.
Do we recognize it?
On Wycroft?
No.
On the indigenous man.
Okay.
You don't recognize the tattoo.
Anyway, Mr. Wycroft, do you it's just small world, you know. You're not the only outfitter in town. It's just funny that we happened to run into you today. Question: do you sell ammunition? I could use some ammunition.
I've got some 12 gauge and I've got some 45 and some 22. Although I tell you right now, I wouldn't send you out with 22 to shoot anything unless it's target practice.
Well, praise the Lord and pass that ammunition. I could use some 45.
You broke Matt.
I guess I did. I didn't even think.
You broke Matt.
No, that's okay. I've been playing a lot of Fallout 76, and one of their songs.
Always praise the
yes,
Lord
it
and pass the
is.
ammunition. Yeah.
And they play it.
Praise the
It
Lord
rotates
and pass the
relatively frequently.
ammunition. Praise the Lord. Pass the ammunition.
So yeah, no, he pulls out 12 gauge shells, slugs.
Yeah, I'll take some
I-
12 gauge slug. Or actually, I don't think I have a 12 gauge. I have a 10 gauge shotgun, so I can't get any from my shotgun. But I have a 45.
If you need 10, I could probably get some in a couple of days from here around town. Or, as much as I hate to, I could send you just to one of the other outfitters, and I'm sure they've got 10 gauge.
It is actually my 45 that ran into some issues up in Port Headland, and I've discovered that a good bit of my pocket ammo, as you will, had gone a little funny.
I could sell you a box, and he puts a box of 45 up on the counter and quotes you a price that sounds a little bit higher than what you would expect, but again, you're in the middle of freaking nowhere. That's not unheard of.
But you're not the only shop in town. No, I would pay for it.
You won't find a better price. You might find the same price.
Did
but
he
you won't
also
find a better one?
Did he also have 38?
No, just
Okay.
22, 45, and 12 gauge.
I'm going to ask him to add
I'll
another
take a
box of ammo, and I'm going to take the hat. And can I try to use fast talk to get the price down a little lower?
Sure, go for it.
Just chit chat and be like, Claudius is right. There are other places in town that we could take our business to, and I got a hard success on the fast talk, and I'm just going to keep rattling off other things that we could go buy, and that if our deal that we're checking out falls through, that we would most definitely come back and commission him to help us find a plot of land to mine.
Yeah, as you're talking and try and fast talk him, I need a spot hidden or psychology from all three of you. All right.
That is a fail on the psychology.
Ooh.
Hey, I got it that time.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend 5 and get it.
Let's see, how close is this one?
As the two of you watch him get fast talked, there's some disconcerting eye movement as he is almost mouthing to himself something before he shakes his head and says, "Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, give me the whatever amount you were fast talking him down to."
Okay.
And he slides the hat and the ammunition over, but there's something the two of you notice. There's something
Where are those? Where's
a little crap.
Where's that indigenous chap?
He just stepped in, said something. He's probably headed back out now. He was one of the ones out front.
Okay. I'm going to, while he's being fast talked, I'm going to look at Dalphus very quietly. If I need to roll like a stealth or something for this, I will. But I'm going to say very quietly, roll with this, and we can, if it doesn't work out, we can take it up on the other side.
about it when we're dead.
And
Go ahead and roll stealth for me.
that's a 13 under 30.
You got a success. Okay, good deal.
So I got a
Don't
hard
forget
success.
box.
I'm marking that
You gotta
box.
be box. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mark any boxes last week. I'm gonna have to rewatch the episode to see if I ever rolled anything. And then loudly, and more loudly, after he says that, I'm gonna say, you know, it's been a bit, but I'm pretty sure Huston said this is also where he used to send his stuff through.
Oh, none of you need to give me a psychology check. There's a solid twitch when he hears the word Huston.
I'll throw in for good measure. Yeah, I believe this is the place that Carver suggested was good to use too.
Give me the three of you can give me a psychology check.
Okay. I'm gonna fail one of these, and I'm gonna be. Well, I already failed one. Maybe I won't.
Yeah, 24.
Oh, I
that's
got
really-
that one. 37 under 58.
I think that's a hard success. Let me check with their second.
I don't know either one of those men. Have they been through recently?
I think you know they have.
I'm sorry. You talking to us? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We got talking. We got talking, and I just completely forgot that you were here. As it is, as far as Dr. Huston goes, it's been, I don't know, maybe what did Toddy Randolph say for that
It
one
wasn't
thing?
that long
It was
ago.
like 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
I say whatever time I.
Carver never wanted to say what he was looking for, what he was digging out here in the desert for, but he said that you helped him when he was doing digs. Now, Huston, I've heard him talk a lot about that hidden city that people keep talking about out here, so I don't know. But I imagine that's what Carver was looking for, too.
Hidden city. Huh. That's interesting. And then he says something in the language that you guys have heard several times. And you hear a little bit of scuffle behind you, and as you kind of quickly look to turn back to see what the scuffling behind you is, and you turn back around, he has a shotgun in hand and he's getting ready to point it at you.
I would just like it to be known this is not Aaron's fault. I tried to be subtle.
No, I'm 100%. Claudius knows exactly what he did, and that's why he told Dalphus to roll with it. But now you were watching him. You weren't looking behind us, were you, Aaron? You were talking.
No, I was watching him. I was busy fast talking to him.
Are you telling me that if you heard a scuffle behind you in your paranoid mind, you would not have at least briefly looked behind you?
Yeah, well, but I knew that. You're right.
you would've turned.
We'll go there.
I'm not
Sounds
saying
like you
it's
need a roll for that one.
I'm not saying it's pointed straight at you. I'm saying in that time he reached under the counter and pulled it out to bring it.
I don't particularly know why you feel the need to pull a weapon. I mean, are there the people that were behind us, or is it the indigenous people closing in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would have been prepared and ready to pull a weapon out just in case.
No, that makes sense. I
knew we were about to stick our necks out there, so.
I'm just noting Dexis for these guys. Wow, that one's really bad. So the large guy comes back in, and he's got a pretty nasty looking club with like little teeth in it, like you'd expect a cultist to carry around.
Oh, look.
And the other two guys come in right behind him carrying the same things. And
It's just too hot to wear robes here, I take it, gentlemen.
Wycroft looks Dalphus in the eye and says, well, this is unfortunate, but Huston will want to know. But that's a good thing that's it for tonight, because we're at not 10 minutes till. Sorry, guys, I'm not getting us into a combat at 10 minutes till.
Dang.
So a couple of things we're going to point out. Before the end of the year, we're going to work on a Benny system for this game. Roxy and I have been shooting ideas back and forth, and she's got to do a little bit of implementing on the back end.
They're already called. The channel points are already called Cthulhu's.
Yep.
Oh, well, there you go.
I just don't have an icon yet. I need to get with my artist.
In the future, we're going to have some icon stuff, and we're going to have some other things. If you want to give us bits or you want to subscribe, you're going to get some benefits to give to us. Some of those are going to be luck, because let's be honest, all 4 of our characters could use more luck. Even if they were at 99, they want more luck. I'd want them to have more luck. It's more fun that way, especially when they drop themselves right in the middle of a combat for the fun of it. If you haven't followed, please do. Just click the button. Doesn't cost you anything. Doesn't take any time. It's just going to let you know when we come online. If you are following, check out that subscription button, because it's only like $5 a month for the first year.
But I have
and it helps it time.
I was going to say.
This is September.
It's September. I think I called it Subtober last night. It's September. And that means if you set up a recurring 1-month subscription, you can save 20% off your first month. Or if you set up a 3-month recurring subscription, you can get 25% off your first 3 months. Or if you set up a 6-month recurring subscription, you can get 30% off your first 6 months. So now is the time. If you've thought about subscribing to anyone, namely us at the moment, then we highly encourage you to click that button during the month of September and enjoy those benefits, especially the 6-month one. 30% off is sorry, the dogs just knocked down a curtain. 30% off is quite a steal for monthly subscription.
Or if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can always subscribe to us for free.
You're doing my job for me, Shawn. Thank you. I like it. So yeah, definitely check those out. Definitely something that helps us out. Right now, the plan is to make sure that any money that comes in from bits and that kind of stuff, a little bit's going to cover some back end stuff that we have to do, but almost all of it is going to go out to the people that are playing the game, because the 4 of them are working pretty hard at getting this done. Roxy's going to tell me right now that I'm doing a lot of work too, and I do some work, mostly reading a book. It's not that hard. I have more fun torturing the 4 of them than I think they realize.
I know he's fixing to kill.
Roxy
3 of
does
us.
all the behind the scenes work too. So.
Yeah, and Roxy does such good work.
Oh,
No,
thanks.
Hey, listen, you fight with that computer all the time.
All the time. You know what? Push comes to shove. I'm hoping by next week I've got a new one, so we'll see how that goes.
If you haven't subscribed, do. If you haven't followed, please do. You can find us on our social medias. Twitters are all listed below us. You can also go to @Quiett Gentleman on Twitter. Pretty sure that's what it is.
Yep, @Quiett Gentleman.
It's also listed in our below the show description too. You can definitely check all that stuff out. And we post somewhat regularly on what's going on. We also have a Discord coming up. We just have to. Roxy's working on the back end of that.
Yeah, you can actually. I think you can scroll down below this video right now. I believe there's a Discord panel. I believe you can click on it and get to that server if you'd like. If it doesn't, hit me up on socials. We'll hook you up with an invite. I'll get whatever I did should work, or should I'll try to get it working as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But yes, Quiett Gentleman Entertainment does have a Discord that we are slowly building up, where you can interact with the casts of this show, and the casts of Growing Shadows.
Yeah, Growing Shadows is next week.
Yep.
Same Sandbat time, same Sandbat channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come check that out. They are coming back for season 2. Say hello to Duke in the back. Oh, you guys. Yeah, you can.
Oh,
say
Duke's
hello.
being so cute.
Hi, Duke.
Yeah. Come back for that next week, and then Tuesday we'll be having another Isolating Tomes. Tomes of Isolation.
Yep, we're gonna hop back into 7th Sea of Pirates Pact. Last week or 2 days ago we had we've got a lot of hype about the Pirates Pact. So it's been fun. But yeah, on Tuesday we had the author Danielle Lazan was an active member in chat, and I did find myself waiting for her choices on the multiple choices, so I could be like, okay, well, she's gonna at best give us the best story, or at worst give us the best story, and or kill our character. So
lead you astray.
Yeah, I feel like she might want us to get the best story out there, but knowing her and playing with her in the past, I would not be surprised if she led us down the path of the most fun Deathly Hollows. Yeah.
I'm good at that.
Well, and she also did give us some behind the scenes spoilers about some things that we didn't choose, and she was like, if you had done this, you would have gotten to do this. And so
That's always cool.
it was definitely cool to have her in chat. So please come out for that. It is a fully interactive show where you get to help John or myself or whoever is in the hot seat make decisions for a character on a solo adventure.
Fantastic. And then
and-
tomorrow, Roxy, you're on.
Yeah, tomorrow night I'm on. We had a name change. We are now, well, it's still the Deadlands Hell on Earth game over at twitch.tv/Lore Explorers. It's LOREXPLORERS. So LOR Explorers. And yeah, we are now the League of Crumbs.
I should.
Raconteur. Raconteur Explorers. We are storytellers at heart. But yeah, come for that for some post-apocalyptic, Weird West tomfoolery and shenanigans.
And then 2 weeks from yesterday, you'll be back in Ravenloft.
Savage
for
Ravenloft. Yep.
the Savage Ravenloft game. Both of those are going really well. You should check those out as well.
Please
If you
do.
like Roxy, or if you don't like Roxy, come make fun of her somewhere else.
Yeah, if you don't like me, you can go on there and give bennies to my other cast members or my GM, and I just continue to fail my roles.
Hey, you
So,
made a couple. You made a couple critical ones last night, though.
Oh, were you watching? Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I was watching.
I kicked some butt, and I think John had an announcement as well.
Oh, yeah.
no, I was just going to say 2 things really quick. If you know of a single-player adventure that uses a system that is kind of like the Choose Your Own Adventures, which we're doing right now, please feel free to let us know. We'll figure out a way, but social media is a good way to find us. And then the other thing is that right now for the upcoming Growing Shadows game, the thing that I'm running is that for my players, we're trying to get our YouTube channel up to 100 subscribers. If I get up to 100 subscribers, or when I do, I'm going to pick one person out of our subscribers that we will take that person, and they will get to make an NPC. They're an ally, an adversary for the team of ninjas. And I will work with them to have that character drop into the story. And so that's what I'm doing this time around.
And where do we find your YouTube?
We have 2 different YouTubes right now. Obviously, we have the Passion Nerdly YouTube, but also if you jump in on the Quiet Gentleman YouTube, either
Subscribe
one.
to both.
Yeah,
if
subscribe
you're gonna
to both.
Subscribe, it's free.
It's
Subscribe
free.
to both.
But the thing is that if we can get those channels up to 100, if I get 100 on both those channels, because that'll let us create our own domain name for those channels, or at least our own username, which is a great step for us. I'll take 2 people.
Fantastic. And Passion Early is only like 38 more people away. So
Yeah.
they're relatively close. Quiet Gentleman could use some more people.
We're-
Not going to lie.
We're gonna get him. We're gonna get him.
Yep.
All right. So, that's I think that's good for tonight. We will be back in 2 weeks with more terrifying tales.
Alrighty, sounds good, y'all. We'll see you next week.
Will
Night,
we make
everybody.
it?
Bye.
Night.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.